And welcome everybody. We're going live to talk about our drone support equipment here. So this is a bag that we've been using for a while. Another one that we use that we like is the shown up on the screen now is the Thule. This one's very similar. This one is a Paladin, but a Thule is something we can link to on Amazon. It's very similar. Then it's a padded bag, and you'll see it's made for cameras and things. It's got some compartmentalized insides that are padded, and then we've got this outside area. What I really like is because they're thinking press and they're thinking, oh, I see Gizzard is out there. I don't know if I can interact at all, but good afternoon. So there's this. Is the sound okay? Thanks for giving me some feedback, by the way. Is the section here we can put a press pass or you can put your credentials, and it's kind of protected from any kind of weather or abuse, but it's right there, and it's hard to cover up. There's no straps or anything. So this one doesn't have your typical kind of camping gear or military gear with all its PALS webbing that can sometimes get it attached to things. I guess I should have zipped it up before I started flipping it around. It doesn't have all that webbing and stuff. Instead, it has these Velcro things, which are kind of handy. Handle on either side makes it a good, easy, and yeah, the video, I can't help. The video is dumbed down to the way they want it. But thanks for the feedback. So the bag is a padded bag, and again, you can get a very similar bag from the link over there. Keep jumping back from Thule. So as we open it up, the first thing, oh, did I forget to put this on? I think I forgot to include this. This is where I keep the gimbal, and I find keeping the gimbal in its plastic thing with the little foam on top is the best way to keep it because it's so delicate. So this gimbal can be used for action cameras. It can be used for telephones, and it's got actually a pretty good number of features in it. And I don't use it every time we go out, but every once in a while, if you want some decent moving footage, then this is the way to go. So again, keeping it in this kind of vacuum form thing with this foam on it is the way that I've been able to keep it in this top pocket without getting hurt. And it kind of keeps it right where we might need it. I can also have room in here to put a tripod if I needed to. I often do. All right, let's break into it. There is some storage at the top. We'll talk about that in a second. And then as we get in here, there's just essentially two drones in here. One of them is the EXO Ranger. I've painted mine. So a great drone, good entry level, and then it's going to take you beyond. So a lot of them are for practice. A lot of them are almost toy level. This one's above that. It's capable, and it's not super huge, but it's large enough to deal with wind. The batteries, we've included links to some of the replacement batteries because as much as I like having drones, and this is the EXO Ranger, it usually you can buy it with a series of batteries, and then buy as many replacements or extra batteries as you can. So I try to keep 3 or 4 whenever possible for it because you get a bad shot or something happens and you have to do it again and then you do it again. So batteries you can never anticipate. It's always better to have more. So as you can see, the Ranger falls into this pouch here. These are all adjustable, and once you fold it back up again, it fits into that pouch. And I don't carry it in its own bag anymore. Just carry it in this pouch with its controller right on top. I fly my controllers without the joysticks. I find that you get better response by just pulling on the ball. I saw that in a video somewhere. Somebody was doing that, and I've been doing that since, even on the little guy. So thanks again to Pink Panther on both of these drones. But this little guy is the Scout, and really fast. It's very lightweight, so it can't handle the wind very well. But if you're inside, this is the way to go. And if it's not windy, sometimes in the morning, this is a real fast way because the Scout is in gear right there. That it took me that long, and it's ready to go. Um, and it's got a bunch of extra batteries also. Let me link to the Scout here. So I'm going over to my iPhone and scrolling through the attached items, and that's how I'm getting them to pop up over here on the left. So this one is the Scout, really nice entry level. This one I'd consider entry level toy. It's got a decent camera, but it's just the weight is so lightweight that the wind will just take it. You don't want to apply this one outside unless you really know what you're doing. The wind can take it and take it right over a fence, right into somebody else's yard, down the street, whatever. So it's a little small, but inside in a big room, it doesn't have a bad air conditioning situation. This would be a great drone. So the drones only take a little bit of room in the bags, but there's lots of other things that I end up bringing with when I'm working with the drones. So in addition to the extra batteries, we've got the charging cables in the center here. Well, we've got the phones. So phones are important with drones. The phones attach to the handsets and give us the ability to control all the features of the drone as well as see what the drone is seeing. So when we're taking video, that's the whole point of a drone, is to get cameras up in the air. So the phones let us see. I've got this one is I'm gonna have to try the iPhone, the new iPhone here. But the this one is the TCL. This is a great phone. Pretty decent. Pretty decent. What I'm trying to say. Cameras on this one. We've also got the filled out into here. We've got the E71. This one, these cameras are insane. These are the ones I do most of my videos with, almost all my pictures, not just for social, but for everything. This is a really, really good phone. Again, thanks to Pink. So let's see. Now we've got, for the same concept, for the being able to see and drive the drones, I've got this adapter. And this adapter takes a phone size piece, and then it has this ball that comes out. Then there's this part that fits into the ball and tightens up. And the idea now is to put this in place of the phone, and in the lid of the case here, thanks to Chris 740, we've got a tablet here, a Samsung tablet, and I just dropped the app. The tablet gives us a much larger. Can I link to it? Where is it here? The tablet. Oh yeah, I did have the stabilizer here. Good. I don't know what kind of stabilizer you might be using, but for getting B-roll when you're out getting drone photography, having a gimbal is a pretty handy accessory. Now I'm not finding the. Here it is, the tablet. I don't know that they skipped. Maybe they got skipped into different order there. But a tablet gives you a much larger view of whatever your drone is doing. And this adapter, once you tighten it up, it's crazy. Look how heavy that uh, tablet is. Doesn't even matter. This is super strong. This is a super tight metal joint, a real nice ball and socket joint there. And I can run this tablet to the drone software just like a phone. And this solid holder gives me the ability, again, thanks to Chris from 740, great accessory for a drone. I think he was using this for his drone. And then the tablet, of course, gives you the ability to essentially work like a computer if you've got something like cordless, what is this, Bluetooth keyboard. And I think I've got this one linked as well. So for the people watching on YouTube, there are things flashing up and down on the Amazon side during this. So this is through the StreamYard, as you might be able to tell there. In fact, I should probably get rid of that because I don't need it. flip it over to ours, and it is simulcasting, it sounds like. So I should probably verify that by going over to the YouTube. But this is my fourth live stream. Oh, yeah. Nobody's watching on YouTube today. Maybe I set it up to the wrong YouTube channel. It's possible. So next thing that I'm going to bring when I go out to fly drones is a action camera. Or actually, I should say we're driving out to fly drones. I'm bringing the dash cam. So obviously this is in the front of the dashboard, but this dash cam is the, we'll link to it again here, is the style that you use a phone with a Bluetooth or Wi-Fi connection, I guess, a Wi-Fi connection to to control the phone or the dash cam, to see what the dash cam is looking at, to do whatever controls. Here's a link to the new model of this one. This is an older one they don't make and they don't sell anymore. So here's a newer one up on the screen. But this style, it's essentially like a, I don't know, stubby cigar, like a little old film canister or something. So this goes against the dashboard. This points forward. This is the portion where it kind of plugs into its base that goes just underneath your review mirror. What I like about it is it's subtle. You don't really see it on the dashboard. There's a little LED light that'll blink on some of them. Some of them can have a backwards camera as well. Just depends on if you want that option. But I don't want the screen on my dashboard. One, I don't want it flashing back at me when it's dark out. I don't want to have to be adjusting the brightness of something. I just don't want a screen up on my windshield. So this gives my camera up on my windshield, but my screen is either on my tablet using an app or phone using an app. It allows me to pull the files right down onto the phone as I want them, but there is also an SD card, and we've got a link here to some SD cards that are decent for this type of thing, for drones and for dash cams. These scan disks that have a good rewrite time, like a very long, what's the word, a very large rewrite time. All right, so having the dash cam gets you B footage on your way out, and can be pretty interesting if you fly your drone past your windshield or something, and you got B-roll from different types of cameras, different qualities. But also, I like to have action cams. So I didn't link to these, but what are these things called? GoPros or different models like that give you the ability to keep them weatherproof. A lot of times you can monitor these depending on the model from your phone. I probably should have linked to these too. I wasn't thinking. But putting these things on the ground, on tripods, up on the vehicle, looking down, tie them to a tree. Don't forget them there. Put them on a tripod, looking down. Put them underneath the drone, looking straight up. You can get some really interesting B-roll. And with the fisheye lenses and the quality of the imaging and the amount of ways you can clamp these things into places, action cameras get really good, or a good accessory to a drone. Now, something I haven't done yet, my larger drone could probably do it. You can attach an action camera to a drone and just get either a dual camera situation going, or maybe have the action cam pointing straight down if your drone's camera isn't that hot. Let's see. Products are below the video. Oh, okay, thanks. So for me, maybe it's probably my screen size too. Maybe I'm going too wide or something. I'm still learning, so I appreciate people's feedback and giving me some benefit of the doubt as I'm working this. Amazon side froze up. Is that true? So we'll keep digging anyway. So in addition to the B-roll action cam type stuff, we're going to want to let people know where we are, especially if it's real early in the morning or if you're getting towards the end of the night. And that's why I like these, what do they call them? Lizard. I was going to say dragon, but they're lizard lights. Super useful lights. They're LED, so you don't have to worry about them getting too hot or really running on a battery. There are just regular batteries in this, 2 AAA batteries, You just got to use a screwdriver, otherwise I'd show you. But as you can see, it's got something like 6 modes. Number 4 is my favorite. That's this one, the rotating one. And this way, if you set it somewhere, no matter how you set it, it's going to get people's attention. Most of the other ones blink. And then somewhere in here, it'll get to the last mode. It's just a task light. And it's a magnet on the back. There's a hook on the back, so you can hang this on a tree, hang it on the side of the vehicle, put it on a magnet underneath the hood. So it's a nice emergency light, but when you're out, again, doing some drone stuff on the side of the road, especially out in the middle of kind of nowhere, you never know when somebody's going to be flying past you. Just having something like this out, just it's a little extra safety. And they're nice and kind of emergency yellow. If you just hold them down, they turn off no matter what mode they're in. You don't have to cycle through them all. You can get these in sets of 6 or something. Then, I guess having 6 would be handy. If it was like my daughter's car or something, I'd put 6 in there. But if it's me, I'm going to buy 6, and I'm going to put 1 in this bag and 1 in another bag and 1 in 6 different bags. But to each your own. I really think they're pretty interesting lights. So let's see, what else do we have in the bag here? We've talked about let's just go through it here and make sure we're hitting everything that we've got tagged. We've got the SD cards, and having SD cards that can handle long files, like large files, but also multiple rewrites is important for both the dash cam and the drone. Having the emergency lights, the lizard lights. You can ask Lizard Larry about these things. But getting emergency lights so that you don't get hurt in any kind of accident or anything, let people know where you're at. Having the dash cam, helpful for B-roll. Put that back up on the screen. Then I've got earbuds in here. What? Yeah, so I've got microphones, and where are the earbuds? Maybe the earbuds are in here. There they are. So I've got to carry around earbuds for the phones. So depending on what kind of video I'm doing, these things, especially when you've got hats on in the winter, or if it's wind's blowing or something, you've got scarves on, having these go directly to your phone, no brains. The cases charge, and then that charges the earbuds. They're inexpensive, they're economical, so I would have a couple of them potentially, so you don't have to worry about them going out, but most of the time they have pretty long-lasting batteries in them, and that gives you, instant understanding of how your video audio is coming out. Something that I have hung up here, so I guess I can't show it to you, but we have highlighted on the screen is the Wi-Fi hub. So I'm filming this. Normally I would film stuff through a phone, which is connected to the phone system. Well, the phone system I have also powers a hub that's kind of attached to the wall over here, just out of view. Actually, I can do this, and you can see it hanging right there. So now it's in the video. So this is my this is a USB coming up to power a, what am I trying to say, a Wi-Fi hotspot. That's what I'm looking for. So it's essentially coming straight from the phone company into that unit, powered by USB, and anytime I turn it on, I have Wi-Fi. And it's a service through the phone company, but you buy that unit and then hook it up to your phone company just like a telephone. And for me, it's $20 for unlimited internet. It has no phone, it has no text or anything like that, so it's only using the internet, and it's pretty handy. I've only had it not work in 2 places in the United States. By Fort Campbell, it didn't work, and in the middle of New Mexico, somewhere between Albuquerque and Amarillo, Texas. Somewhere in there it went out. And that was years ago. They may have fixed it by now, or filled in those gaps by now. But having internet like that is super handy, especially when you're going to be doing drone stuff. You're going to want to check your maps. You want to maybe make sure of something, or decide if you're in the right spot for what you were trying to do, or find the parking area. So having internet in addition to the phones is handy. Let's see what else we got listed on the video here. So the mics that I grabbed out of here, I think, again, thanks to Pink for these. These are, again, a box that, or the case that charges. So you charge up your case before you head out. And then your 2 microphones here can also be charged separately if they need to. But essentially, there's a little wires in here that connect whenever you drop the microphone in, and it's charging right away. You plug this part into your phone or your tablet. You just wear these things on your collar or on a tie or somewhere near your face. And then these are microphones that are much more sensitive, much more useful, give you much better audio for your finished product. And again, pretty economical for what they offer. We're going through the couple of phones that we've got again. I've got this one because basically it was gifted to me and it's a nice phone, but I use this other one which has a much fancier camera and basically won't work with my phone service, so it's can't use it as a phone, but I can definitely use it as a camera, and it's a great resource. And that one is the A7 or whatever it is. So that one, I guess I linked to this, has got an OtterBox on it, and these are great for giving you some texture. Most of these phones nowadays are so smooth that when you're out drone filming or doing anything outdoors, I feel there's always a risk of dropping it. So depending on which one you go with, this one has a, I'm going to come out now. This one has like a little metal loop. It's really a kickstand, but because it's hollow, I can stick my finger in there, never have to worry about dropping my phone. If I'm sticking it out the door or reaching it over something, reaching it over a ledge, I've always got a finger through the case. So these cases don't just protect the phone, they also kind of go up over the screen, so when you set them on things, they're not setting the glass straight down. I think really worth having on. So is the audio gone on the other side? Looks like I'm having issues with the video freezing on the Amazon side. We mentioned the keyboard, having a Bluetooth wireless keyboard, super handy. Trying to use the on-screen keyboards is just such a pain. So being able to get to a real full-size keyboard and real response when you touch a key, super useful. Again, the pad holder, I guess they call it, that goes interfaces between the drone controllers and the tablet to give you a much larger screen for flying. Now, what I do is I have a couple of different repair sets here. So most all drones are going to come with some repair blades, screws, other perishable parts that the drone might have. I also keep my knobs in here that I told you I take off of here just in case somebody wants to fly it that's more accustomed to the knobs, or if I change my mind and want to put the knobs back on. But I would suggest like this. I have the ones that came with it, and then I have another set. They're inexpensive, and when you're out in the middle of nowhere, you're going to be kicking yourself if the only thing you're missing is like one prop, one propeller that goes out of service. So if you got two drones, you might want to have a couple extra sets of propellers out there. Same thing with batteries. You literally cannot have enough batteries. I recommend marking them. Usually try to mark them with something so that you can keep track of which ones are doing better than others with your batteries. We've got the padded case here. Again, this one is made by Paladin, but this is very similar to the tool that I linked in the video here. And then the gimbal. If you're going to be walking around your area, if you're going to be moving the camera, like panning from one place to another, the gimbal can do that pan for you. So much makes much more smooth B-roll, and you can use the gimbal for either your phones or your action cameras. So you can have that consistency of the same filming, the same camera filming the B-roll, but have much smoother pans with the gimbal. And I don't know how to get out of there other than to push that button and go back in. It might have something to do with I keep going in and adjusting the iPhone, and that might not be the way to do this. There must be some way to tell the iPhone to quit minimizing all the time. Like I probably have to go into some setting in here. I'm going to click on the different phones here again. The A71 is a really good camera, and the TCL 30 is the one that I pretty much use all the time as a phone and for social and that kind of thing. The tablet is a Samsung Galaxy. Again, thanks to Chris from 740 in Ohio for that one. And the drones, the EXO Ranger. I'm going to play the video for this one in a second here to give you an idea of how this thing works. Great little indoor drone, great little learning drone. And again, thanks to Pink for this one. And this is the same drone that he gave his niece, from what I understand. She's probably having a blast with one. And then the Scout, this one is the Scout, this one's the Ranger. And the Ranger, it's not super heavy, but it is large enough that it can handle wind. I've got a video we'll play on this one. So let's do that. Now, if I think I can do this by doing it this way, and I don't know if this is the best way to do it or not, but this way I'm going to try it out. So this is the EXO Scout review that we'll take a look at here. And this is just a 3-minute and a video here, and one we prepared for Amazon a while back. We'll open that up and check it out. On the top, little charging cable. We've got batteries, the drone itself, and the remote controllers. The battery is very lightweight. It goes into the back of the drone here. Insert it. To get the drone ready to fly, you pull out its back arms first, its front arms second, and it's pretty much ready to go. The controller has a couple little antennas. You can pull down these little holders, which make it easy to hold on to. To turn them on, there's a power button on the controller. There's a power button on the back of the drone. Once they're both on, they'll sync to each other. Once the drone is on, you'll be able to connect your phone's Wi-Fi to the drone. You'll turn on your phone's location, and then there's a Fly Scout software. The drone has a place here for the phone to attach. You can hit the calibration button, and you'll get a small response here, letting you know that everybody's calibrated. Then you can hit the start button. The software syncs up. You have access to the cameras, to different modes. You can fly without the remote control straight from the phone if you wanted to. You can get all kinds of different options and modes from the menu. You turn on your camera from here, and you can do the camera and still images from here. Once you on up and down to get everybody happy, you'll have access to the drone's little eye there. There's no gimbal on this one, but you can adjust the up and down. There's also a little belly camera on it. When you're ready to fly, just push the controller up. Very powerful, very responsive, and as I guess you kind of saw there, the propellers are not as dangerous as a big drone. Very fun to fly. It's a little challenging outdoors because it's such a lightweight drone, but indoors, if you've got the room, it's a great drone to learn on, and the camera is actually very good. To get everything back together, you just shut the phone off, fold the bottom of the controllers back up, the antennas down, power that off, power off on the back of the drone here. I like to leave it sit for a little while if I've been flying for any length of time. The motors can get a little warm, so I might leave it out if it's been flying for a while. Otherwise, you pull your back arms in, then the front arms fold up. Everybody's nice and tight. Get it into the case with its controller. You can get in a number of different battery options. You're good to go. That's the EXO Scout in just about 3 minutes. Oh, I guess I could have pushed that button. So I'm learning. So that was the EXO Scout, and then we've also happened to have a handy little video right here for the Ranger, the larger of the two drones we've got there. Good afternoon. We're going to be taking a look at the Ranger 7 from EXO. This is a pretty decent drone for the price, and this is how you set it up and get it going. And I suspect this is going to be very similar to most drone setups. First, figure out how to fly and get licensed if you need to, figure out the rules and the laws, find a good spot like we found here, and let's get ready. We have a couple of batteries. This is the phone that I use to connect with the handset. The EXO comes in this nice case with some foam, which has been very useful in keeping it from getting damaged while being bounced around in the van and stuff. The controller starts out, opens up so that it can hold the phone. The drone unfolds, the four arms come out. You want to fully kind of open them and snap them into place. At this point, my blades were a little bit beat up, so I wanted to make sure none of my blades were kind of touching each other and connected to each other at the tips. That'll kind of happen after a while. And then took the lens cover off of the camera and the gimbal. This battery is getting a little fat. It's getting kind of puffy, so it doesn't go in very well. But you put the battery in, lock it into place, and then turn it on. I turn the remote control on at the same time, and those lights will kind of coordinate and blink. Eventually, they'll sync up. While it's doing that, I take the phone and turn on and off the Wi-Fi. It'll find the drone, or maybe the handset, I'm not sure what it's connecting to. And then once it's connected to the drone, I will open up the drone software, and that's ready to get started. I will kind of set the camera into this remote controller. It just kind of fits in like a springy type of tension. And then I go on to calibrate the drone. I can't do this inside the van, so we'll spin around and go outside. The satellites need to sync up and it needs to do its thing. So the first thing we'll do is calibrate the drone itself to its gyroscope inside. It's going to have spin it in a horizontal direction, and then it'll beep. When it's finished, set down the controller and spin it in this vertical orientation. When it's happy there, it'll beep. Probably should do that with the lens down. Now I need to hold down, I'm not really sure what this is doing. This is set the software up to go, and then I hold down this button, and I think this calibrates or reorients the gyro or the gimbal. Not really sure. Next step is to wait a few minutes, and eventually enough satellites will be captured that it'll go into mode 2, which is its satellite mode, in which case you can fly it around. I like to land it on top of the van like an aircraft carrier, so that's how we landed this one. Oh, I guess that's the end of the video, or I'm having an internet glitch. Either way, we'll go ahead and shut that down. So that's the two drones that we featured today, the two drones that I've been using from EXO or EXO, a company that makes those two drones. So we'll close out of here and we'll flip back over to the bag. And we'll say thanks again for everybody joining us today. This was our fourth live, and I think I've lost my live screen, so I don't know where my comments are anymore, if there are any. If we're still streaming, I think I'm getting them back. Here they go, here they go. Okay, so thanks everybody for joining us. I just wanted to say, I think I'm allowed to say thanks to the people that joined us. Real Gear was out there, Krabby Turtle, Gizzard Gary, Gunsnub. Thanks for joining us for the live presentation of the stuff that we use to support our drones when we're out flying here in Arizona. Didn't get into just every single thing in the bag, so maybe in a future one we can get into some of the other details. Thanks for watching.
GearWebsites.com is your source for firearms-based playing cards and books. We also have mugs, shirts, and posters with designs that we've made live. Of course, we have patches. Every Friday is Free Patch Friday. We appreciate your support. Thank you for shopping at GearWebsites.com.